comments.
Good.
Good? We're good?
Yeah.
We're starting. Hello.
Hello.
We are live.
Episode 3, Foreman Void Show. Also known as Pod Hates Us All.
Pod hates us all. That's great.
My name's Aaron.
Justin.
Derek.
Beautiful. Today, we're discussing fall things. We're discussing fall things because it's fall. Even though we are outside right now, and I think it's about 80 degrees.
Yeah.
So it doesn't
Feels
really
like it.
it doesn't really feel fall,
It's very warm.
but it's like supposed to be fall. We're supposed to be excited about fall stuff.
The
So
secret is to wear long sleeves and roll them up so that you're wearing long sleeves. So it qualifies, it counts.
it does count. So today we're going to talk about our favorite music to listen to during the fall. Derek, you want to start us off?
I do, but I'm trying to remember what I had said.
Justin, you want to start us off?
Sure. So we're just doing like favorite fall albums, right?
Favorite fall albums.
Favorite fall.
So I'm going with first one, Brand New's Daisy.
Brand new.
I feel like
Daisy.
probably the most underrated Brand New album
Probably.
That's fair.
because a lot of people just hate it because it wasn't The Devil and God again.
Right. But it was closer to the Devil and God than, the earlier stuff.
Right.
Very true.
I never understood the hatred for the album.
I think it's because it's like
It's so poppy, comparatively.
Is it
I
poppy?
Think. I think it is.
I
It's
think
the one
it's
I'm thinking
darker.
of.
The one with the fox on the cover.
Oh, nope, never mind. I'm thinking of the one that's like yellowish.
With the astronaut on it.
No. Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong band altogether.
Well, I think there was one before that album, too, that he might be
But this one's like,
referencing.
I think, like way darker sounding.
Okay.
And it's got like these like kind of like gritty in your face moments that just kind of like pop up out of nowhere, and it has like weird samples and
Mhm.
stuff.
A lot of weird samples. I haven't listened to it in forever.
Yeah, I was
should've
listening
given
to
it
it
a listen.
a little bit today. It's so freaking good.
The Devil and God's always the one that I go back to.
Right.
But Daisy's up there for me. I like, if we're talking brand new for a minute, I've made a decision. If anybody cares.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody cares. But the new album, I still think The Devil and God's the best, and I would actually still keep Daisy at number 2.
Yeah.
And I'd probably put the new album at 3,
I did really
followed
like
by
new
the
one.
old stuff. I mean, I really liked it. I still just don't know if I thought it was as good as Daisy or
Yeah.
The Devil and God.
Unpopular opinion. I don't think I've ever listened straight through any of their albums. Ever. I think I've only heard like a couple singles from each one.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Dang.
Daisy
I
might
know.
be the
It's one of those
easiest
things
to
where
get
it's
through.
like, oh god, I really need to do that, and then I just don't.
The good thing about Daisy, like if you're like picking one to just like sit down and listen to, is
Yeah.
all the songs are definitely like a little bit shorter.
Yep.
They're
I
all
think
like
it's,
right around 3 minutes.
Yeah, I think it's the easiest one to get through.
Gotcha. Well, I'll have to check it out. It's one of those things. It's like I know it's good. I think literally every person I know likes that band, and pretty much everything they do. I just haven't. So, yeah.
Charles says, "Yay, this one isn't all choppy."
Good internet signal. No, Charles. What happened is I tried to overcomplicate things, as I'm known to do. So our last episode, we turned my DSLR into a webcam, and basically there's just way too much going on, and it just didn't work. This is literally just Justin's cell phone, but it's an iPhone 7, so it's got, what, a 16 megapixel camera? I think it's a 16 megapixel camera at like an f1.4. So
One of those old iPhone 7s.
and the audio, it has 2 microphones, I believe. So it records in stereo, if I'm not mistaken. So literally, this is just a much easier way to do it. And I'm looking at the feed on Justin's iPad, and it looks friggin' amazing. So screw me, right?
I love that we have like a form of people calling in.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes me wish we had like a fake caller in her. Like a
Like a character?
like a Donnie Baker guy.
Maybe we should get someone to do that.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
should. Well, I already want, I'm hoping Brian sends stupid
Brian
questions.
joined.
Yes,
There we go.
Brian!
Anyway.
We need dumb questions, man. He's the closest thing we have to a Donnie Baker.
I love Donnie Baker. It's just ignorant fun.
Probably call in and talk about Tom Petty right now for sure.
Okay, Tom Petty, that situation is messed up.
Yeah.
A major news organization literally said someone was dead that was not dead.
Yeah.
And then
He is
didn't
dead,
say
though,
that
now.
he
He
wasn't
is
dead.
now, yeah.
Oh, he is?
Now he is, but originally.
Are we
I
sure?
think
Yeah, right.
I think that he was dead from the original get-go. I just think, unfortunately, somebody working for the hospital called a source and said he's died, and the family hadn't had a chance to announce that he was dead. So when reports started coming in, they're like, no. Something along those lines. I think something like that had to have happened.
Well, they announced that he had been taken off of life support, not that he had died. And CBS took taken off of life support as he has died.
Gotcha.
That's how I understand it to have gone down. But yeah, it's messed up.
Stinks.
That
Tom
wasn't on
Petty.
anyone's fall albums list, was it?
Not Tom Petty,
Oh,
but
okay.
I do love him.
Yeah.
All right, Derek, give us a fall album.
My favorite fall album for the last several years has been the album Sunbather by Deaf Heaven, which a lot of people love it, a lot of people hate it. They're a very polarizing band. I think mostly people that hate it are people who are like think they're way too cool for heavy music that's not death metal or black metal.
I only like true death metal.
Right, two genres which I love, but I mean, geez, it's just good music, and they don't even call themselves death metal. That's
Yeah.
what always takes me
Black
off.
metal.
Is black metal. Sorry, people are like, they're not real black metal, and it's like, yeah, I know, and so do they. None of them have any like death metal influences. They're all like new metal fans, and then one dude who's super into shoegaze. Anyways, it's a phenomenal album. Its mood matches how I feel in the fall, which is sad but hopeful. And then in winter, that turns into just sad.
Yep.
So yeah, Sunbather by Deaf Heaven. Check it out if you haven't already. They're a kind of an interesting thing because you wouldn't think they'd be as mainstream popular as they are, but they are. Like their album artwork for that album was in an Apple commercial, which is hilarious. And that was at a time, because that was what, 2005, 4 that ad came out, and at the time, in my opinion, mainstream
that
music
far
was even
back?
less edgy than it is
crazy.
now.
Sunbather came out that long ago?
Here, I'll
Surely
confirm.
it's not that old.
I'll confirm.
I was
I was
mean,
thinking
senior
like
in high
2011
school.
or something.
Yeah.
Put them on the map. Oh, you're thinking it's older.
No,
You said
younger.
2005.
Oh, I meant to say 2014 or 2015. Wow. I think I'm having a stroke. Yeah, it came out in 2013. 2013.
That ad was like 1980.
Oh my gosh, New Bermuda came out in 2015. Where does the time go? We're
Brian-
ready for a new album, Death Heaven. I know you're watching.
Brian said that people are cheering for you, Derek. Oh, probably the people back there.
Oh,
Yeah, we're getting some incredible
Stadium.
the
background noise
audio
right
from
now.
your phone is genuinely impressive, and that's very audible. Okay. But anyways, yeah, Sunbather by Death Heaven. Phenomenal album. Check it out. Even if you're not into heavier music, there's a lot of stuff in there that's for the more chill music listener, and a lot of stuff that's not. Start with the song Dream House and go from there.
My first band I'm talking about, I'm going to start off with Skeleton Witch.
Which
The-
one?
The Almighty. I never can decide what my favorite is, but I think, because I'm usually in the mood to think this way, is Forever Abomination. It's always between that and Breathing the Fire.
Breathing the Fire is my favorite.
It's,
I think Forever Abomination is for me, actually.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough. Yeah.
I like Forever Abomination a little more just because of what they do acoustically.
The acoustic stuff is super cool.
Yeah, and they
Not only
have
that,
like
but
my
Chase's vocals.
they have my favorite riff on that album.
Wait, he's on both of those albums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
They have my favorite riff on that album.
Brian said, no, Aaron, no.
Brian
We
doesn't
know
like Skeleton Witch?
Brian doesn't like the Skeleton Witch vocals.
Brian,
Oh,
sorry, I
oh.
don't know if you're gonna like any band that I mentioned tonight. You might.
That's so funny. It's
I
an
can't-
acquired taste.
I
I think
can't-
that's fair. I think that's fair.
Yeah, it
Acquired
took me a
taste,
while.
my left.
It
nut.
took me a while to get into the vocals.
Yeah.
I loved the music right away, but the vocals kind of put me off.
To me, they're like old school thrash that's blackened
Vocal fries.
and almost deathy.
Yeah. Death the band
And
or
then-
death metally? What do you
Death
mean by that?
metally.
Oh, okay.
And vocals that are just otherworldly.
Yeah.
The first time I heard those vocals, I was like, I didn't know
Props.
humans could make that sound.
Yeah.
I love it. I miss him.
It's good.
I know he's
Yeah.
probably not in the band for excellent reasons.
He's
But
a dirty, dirty old dude.
unfortunately, I don't like where they are now. And a lot of it has to do with the absence of Chance.
Yeah.
So, Chance being their vocalist, just in case that sentence didn't sound weird. The absence of Chance. But, anyways, yeah, I don't have a ton to say about it, but it has my favorite Skeleton Witch riffs on it. And it's always just had that fall feel to me, autumn horror movie type lyrics going on. As all my choices tonight, you will hear. I will be quoting lyrics momentarily
Okay.
from the other bands. But Justin, go ahead and go with your second band.
Alright, my second one is Catatonia Dead End Kings. And it's just got that, like, just gloomy sludginess to it. It's just slow and sounds like...
Makes you want to bang your head and fall asleep at the same
sounds
time.
like the soundtrack to Depression. But I
That's
love
fall.
it. Yeah, exactly.
We're depressed, but
Everything's dying.
yeah. Oh, time for things to die and winter to come about. Ugh. Jeez.
But they do a lot of like really cool like ambient kind of keyboard stuff, which is kind of where I got the inspiration to start using like synths in our stuff.
Sure.
Really. Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it on that
That's
one.
a good choice. That's a great choice. My number 2 is actually, it's technically 2, but it's 1 because it's changed because a new album came out this year. But my second fall band, I'll say, if I can, is Future Islands, who everyone should listen to, in my opinion. And we're going to talk about it. But last couple years, my fall album go-to was Singles, which is an album that they really blew up on. I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't know about them before that album.
Yeah.
A lot of their diehard fans that have listened to like 5 or 6 albums before that would call me a poser, but whatever. And then they released a new album this year called Farfield.
Called
Doubles.
what?
The Farfield.
Doubles. I thought you said bubbles.
No, because the first one's called, or not the first one, but the other one's called Singles, so you said double. But it's phenomenal as well, so that'll be a fall staple, and probably in my top 5 for the year, honestly, because that band just puts out bangers.
Bangers.
Not headbangers, mind you. Very chill band. It's kind of like
I'm gonna say,
bass-driven
if they
pop.
put out bangers, then Phil Collins is a riot.
bass-driven indie pop with really unique vocals. Almost a really retro vocal style.
Brian called one of us a poser, but I'm not sure who.
He called me a poser because I called myself a poser.
Oh, okay.
Good one, Brian. Good one. So yeah, that's my number 2. Foreman Void. Future Islands. This is Foreman Void.
Foreman Void here.
Foreman Void is probably my favorite album in all seasons. The self-titled that doesn't
All
exist.
seasons, all albums.
All seasons, all albums. So yeah, that's my number 2.
Is it my turn?
Yep.
I can't remember the
We
order.
did the order all weird.
All willy-nilly. My
Willy.
second album
Nilly.
is by a band that I often debate. Are they the greatest death metal band of all time? The Black Dahlia Murder.
Ooh. Are they death
Do
metal?
I believe are coming... melodic death metal, yeah.
Are they death metal?
Melodic death metal.
Which album?
What else would they be?
Which album?
All the above?
I would
What
fight
else
you
would
on
they
that
be?
one. I would fight you on that
What
one.
are you suggesting they are?
I would suggest that they are actually just heavy metal. Depending on the album.
does that
what was the
mean?
one that came out that was like
What does
purple
that
and black on the
mean?
cover?
Who is heavy
Everblack?
metal?
Everblack. That was a death metal album, but the one before that is all green. I think that was just a
Ritual.
metal album. Ritual. thank you.
Ritual.
I don't remember the name of the
I'm
album.
discussing Ritual tonight.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. I love their music, but is it death metal? Are they a death metal band?
Melodic death metal, yeah.
It's melodic death metal. What is heavy metal?
It's in my metal. What is?
Yeah, just like plain heavy metal. What is that?
Yeah, it's just metal. That's my point. I feel like there's not enough. I feel like there's a lot of death metal elements
Like
that aren't
thrash?
present in their music. No, I'm just saying.
Hi, Nathan.
I'm just saying, it's not. Opinion. I don't view it as death metal.
Brian has weighed in and says, yes, it is death metal.
Brian also
And Nathan said
doesn't like.
Nathan said what?
Brian also said that Skeleton Witch isn't good.
They sexy.
So, Skeleton Witch is death metal. In my opinion. In my
Skeleton Witch?
opinion. I think so.
Straight up death metal?
It's more like thrash.
Yeah.
But see,
Black-
death metal.
blackened thrash.
Death metal is super thrashy though.
We're arguing subgenres.
That's
here.
right, I'm sorry.
The worst thing we could do.
This is douchey. Aaron, I'm sorry. Continue. I didn't mean to bogart her time.
Literally everybody, including Brian, just shut it off.
Everyone
Dang it!
Unsubscribe.
Brian, come back!
Blocked.
We
You're
don't
all
care
we
about
have.
subgenres. It's all metal. It's all metal. Continue, Aaron. I'm sorry.
My reasoning for it being one of the greatest.
That's from
God
Nathan.
dang it. And I knew it was the second that you grabbed my chin.
That's phenomenal.
That's been going on since like sophomore year of high school, which if anybody needs to know was like 15 years ago.
These are my dirty, dirty Crocs.
15 years of being slapped in the
I'm
face.
just now noticing that my Crocs are like front and center throughout the whole thing. You can talk crap on Crocs all day long, but Croc flops,
My socks say Slayer on the bottom.
that's pretty awesome. I'm excited to see that.
And thank you, Crocs, for supporting this episode.
For supporting the show, sponsored by Crocs. They don't know it yet, but
Use code ForemanVoid10.
do see what happens. Why
If
not?
we
Give it a
steal-
try.
If we steal money from Crocs, but then advertise for Crocs on our show,
How much money do you
Did
think
we
there is to
steal?
be stolen from Crocs? Let's be real. I'm not saying they're not doing well. They're a big company, but you think? I feel like they're running close on those margins. I don't think they've got cash laying around.
we'd also like to thank DraftKings, the game inside the game.
Oh my god!
Why wouldn't you try? Why wouldn't you try?
We'd also
Why
like
wouldn't you try?
$1
We'd also like to thank Game Day Greats.
100 billion!
Thank you, Game Day Greats. You're welcome, Kathy. Have you guys seen that commercial?
Thank you, MeUndies.
Okay.
We appreciate it.
I think it's Kroger. They've brought this
Love you,
commercial
Nathan.
back.
Good night.
Kroger has brought
That's
this
it?
commercial back over.
He came on to have me slapped in the face?
He had a purpose. They keep running this commercial like in this same format every year, where there's this guy who's like supplying snacks for this party, who's being run by a person named Kathy. And at the end of the commercial, she says, "Thank you, Game Day Greats." And this little guy holds up like a tray of snacks, and then he goes, "You're welcome, Kathy." And it's the dumbest thing ever, and they just play it year after year. You'll see it, don't worry. If not,
Don't worry
I'll make
about
sure
it.
you see it.
You'll see it. Check out these lyrics from, again, this is the Black Dahlia Murder, their album Ritual,
Let's have
which
it.
is my favorite album of theirs. Although if you've never listened to them, you must start with Nocturnal
Oh, yes.
and then move your way forward. Nocturnal
I'll give you that. I'll give you that
is
all
the
day.
beginning of all things death metal, in my opinion. But they have these lyrics here in the season.
Wait, I'm sorry. Are you implying that album started death metal?
No, not like literally.
You said the beginning of all things death metal. I was like,
Not literally.
hold on. Cannibal Corpse.
I'm going to read these freaking lyrics.
Steven joined and wants to know if you're wearing Crocs.
Yes, sir, I
We
am.
actually just got done discussing the Crocs.
Croc flops.
Late to the game. Late to the
The
game.
Croc flop is a shoe designed for the man on the go. I'm a man on the go. Croc flops. You don't have to put your whole foot in it, so you're not a whole asshole. That's perfect. Send it. Ship it.
Look at that framing.
Ship it. Send it to Croc.
Oh, that's
Crocs.
pretty. That's good.
Is it Croc? And then when you've got two of them, they're Crocs? Is that how it works?
Pass me my Croc.
Like, this is a Croc. These are Crocs.
This is right.
So these are a Crocs of shit. I'm done. Back to the albums.
I never thought we'd talk about your Crocs that much.
Well, they are kind of front and center here. If you haven't slipped your feet into a Croc flop and walked around on a weekend, you're doing life wrong. Just call it what it is.
I had a bad okay.
I'm
Dang
so
it.
freaking fat, I shook the camera when I put my feet here. You see that? Look at that. That's amazing. We're just laughing at ourselves.
We're,
at this
we're
point.
officially going to talk Crocs for a minute. I had a bad experience with Crocs.
Okay. Do
I
you step in dog poop?
no, that's not that bad. That sounds like a rough go. This was forever ago, but I used to have a pair of Crocs, like the OGs with the, just hideous.
Oof.
And my feet sweat so much. I have a sweat problem going on down there.
So they're perfect for you. You can just hose them out.
Well, see, that was kind of my thinking. The problem is I was at church and I was a part of this like prayer meeting thing, and then at the end of the prayer meeting they were taking communion, and just everything's so quiet.
Okay.
And I was sitting in the back for most of it, and I guess while I was sitting there, I was doing nothing but sweating for some reason. So then it's time to go up and take communion. You have to walk up and get it. Nobody's bringing it to you. And everybody's super quiet, and it was just like, squeak, 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 squeak. And I thought maybe nobody would care, but then the second I sat down, the guy next to me said, "Your shoes sound great, man."
That's awesome.
Anyways, real quick, I promise I'm not even reading a whole song's worth. It's just like a little chorus thing.
Yeah.
Black Dahlia Murder, Ritual. The song is A Shrine to Madness. Here in the season of the dead, sanity hangs by a thread. We're descendants of the dark. Give us back our one true love. Manifest All Hallows Eve. Samhain Grim, our one true love. No, you shan't kill Halloween, for we've bore it in our blood.
That's awesome.
That does
Next
make it a good fall
album.
Next.
Right there. Next
Is it me?
song.
Is it
Yep,
me?
it's you.
Yep,
So, continuing on the Halloween type of feel,
yep.
Ghosts, and I'll never get this name right, Infested Suman.
Infestessimum.
There we go.
You made that good.
No, it is Infestessimum.
It's like the embodiment of Halloween. Like, you have the creepy organs, you have children's choirs singing about Satan, you have a zombie queen.
I don't want to keep singing. He might summon the Dark One himself.
It's so freaking good.
It's amazing. Everything that band does is gold, in my opinion. Either it's amazing or it's slightly less amazing. There's no bad. I don't think I've ever heard a song of theirs, and I'm like, this is not good. I've heard some of their stuff, like especially on Meliora, where I was kind of just like, meh, it's not the best.
You're like, meh, Leora.
Oh! I think here's the problem with that. Infestestimum, their second album, was so good that they're really... There's no way you're going to be better than that. And I think maybe they knew that, and they were just like, let's just do our best.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's speculation. But it's still great. All their albums are great.
Question on Ghost. Is that new thing really the new...
Who knows?
I think it's them.
I should totally clarify what the heck.
So at a live show
that new thing really
in
the
Sweden,
new-
the band's hometown, the vocalist at the end of the last song was drug off stage by men in suits, and the new Papa Emeritus was brought out on stage, something they do at the end of each album cycle. And this guy, the last Papa Emeritus was like presumably in his like late 30s, early 40s, kind of a party animal. Kind of a loosey-goosey compared to the predecessors, and now this new one literally came out with a walker and an oxygen tank, and like could barely and their live shows are very energetic. We just saw them a couple months ago, and it's very energetic. So I'm like, how is that gonna work?
I'm kind of thinking that maybe this is like...
That wasn't him anymore either, right? I mean, or was it him?
I mean, it
Trust.
will be. The new one will be him.
Right.
But I think, I mean,
It's always going to be Tobias Forge.
I think it's just like a way to transition to the new guy, and we haven't met the new guy yet.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Who knows? Oh, cool. Brian says his favorite fall album is just Halloween sound effects and music. Cool. The Monster Mash, presumably.
Wait, Halloween sound effects and music? Like music from the movie Halloween.
The Monster Mash.
I'd say yes.
Oh, that's what he means. Okay. I thought he just meant like songs and effects of Halloween.
I
this
think
season.
that's really... I don't know what the music would be, though, for
What is
that.
the music? Well, Monster Mash. That's the only Halloween song.
My favorite
That's-
Halloween music is Halloween music.
Monster Mash is a Halloween carol.
You know, Halloween music.
Shall I with my last album, my final album?
I don't even know whose turn it is. Go.
My final album is really 2 albums once again, because it's really more about the band, because they've just released a new album this year, which is probably very potentially going to be my number 1 most favorite album of the year. The band is Slow Dive. I Am Basic. Before this year, the album of theirs that my go-to would be Slovaki. Just get
What?
it out there. Slovaki.
Slovaki?
Solvaki.
Solvaki.
Sovlaki. Which actually came out when I was 1 year old. So let that burn into your brain for a second. 1993. And then they just released a new album this year after a 20-year hiatus called Slow Dive, self-titled, and it's exceptional.
Yep.
It's just so that'll be my album for
I
this
still
year.
think of Night Swimming.
But also that other album is
Still
phenomenal
Slow Dive
as well.
takes me.
And all
I
of
can
their,
see that.
Night
no.
Swimming.
I almost said all of their albums are great, but that's not true. Those 2 albums are great.
Brian clarified the music he was talking about is the eerie stuff that they play in haunted houses.
Yeah, so Monster Mash.
Frank, get out of here.
So Monster Mash, I get it.
Get out of here.
No, he's talking about Monster Mash.
It's not any more clarified. He's messing with our minds.
Move past it. All right, Aaron.
All right.
It's
one day
Monster
I'm going to
Mash. He's
have
talking
an
about
aneurysm, and
Monster
it's
Mash.
Brian's going to cause it.
It's Monster Mash. He's
Some
talking about Monster
aneurysm's
Mash.
gonna
Just move
happen.
past it.
I couldn't decide what to talk about for my 3rd band. I kept going back and forth. I'm settling on Satyricon.
The new one?
The new one.
Sweet.
I've never listened to them.
The new album, it is, I've already said it, it's up there among my top 5 for the year. It could move up further.
Fantastic.
It could move up farther. I need time. I need time to dwell on it. Riff-tastic. You just, it's a bowl full of riffs.
Ooh.
I think it's what Brian actually likes to listen to during Halloween.
We don't need to read that aloud. Just go ahead and pin that.
I'm going to read
Go
what
ahead
you
and pin
said.
that. Just going to pin that comment.
Yeah,
Going to go ahead and pin that one.
pinned.
Pin.
They also had a lyric I liked for this time of year, though.
Really quick before you read the lyric.
Yeah?
I genuinely have never listened to them. What kind of music is it?
We're talking black metal. Almost straight.
Legit?
Like legit black metal.
Is it
It's
going to
got
make me
that,
feel
like-
like...
Satyricon
I mean, it's
started
that,
up in the
like-
early 90s.
It's that like
with,
legit like Nordic.
they're from the
awesome
90s.
stuff.
They are more... So they're early. If you go to like their first couple albums, you're talking straight up that really trashy sounding black metal.
Yeah.
They were one of the first black metal bands to kind of break off and start playing almost groovy type stuff, where they started to incorporate more rock sounds. It got called like black and roll there for a while. I kind of hate.
Oh, kind of like
I kinda-
Tribulation.
Yeah, I kind of hate that name for it, but yes, they fiddle in the lines of Tribulation.
I love
Brian
Tribulation.
would
They're
like
amazing.
a reminder of what band you're talking about.
Satyricon.
Here. I'll pull up the
Literally.
spelling.
Literally, I think. I mean, it's definitely the best black metal album of this year.
The Wi-Fi's struggling out here.
And how many years going back, it's hard to say. I mean, it's phenomenal. But they have this lyric.
Satyricon.
There you go. October sky, October leaves,
Oh,
and
my
the
little
silence of nightfall. Pass the torch to the brethren in the dark. I love it.
Those iPhones, man, the camera is beastly on them. Yeah, I need to check it out.
Check it out.
Is the new album, would you call it black and roll?
Yeah, that's definitely more along those
Those
lines.
Tribulation lines? I love it.
Have, like,
It's
the
more on
riffs
the
and
tribulation
stuff.
lines and everything they've put out in like the past, I think, 10 years.
While we're on that level, also check out the band Envy from Tokyo. We saw them with Tribulation and Death Heaven a couple years ago.
I've heard of him.
Worth listening to. It's
Yeah.
good fall music. Also good fall music. Anyway, sorry.
That brings us to Justin.
No, we're done.
That's it.
Oh, you already said your band?
We all did 3.
I think the important takeaway from our discussion is that the best fall music that you could possibly listen to is anything that Form and Void puts out. Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was listening to us in the car because my son can't go on car rides without listening to us.
What is our best fall song?
are best.
In my experience, the whale was kind of doing it.
I was gonna
That's
say
what
the
I would
whale
say,
also.
too.
Yeah,
That's funny.
it's the feel.
It's got that, the chill vibes.
What that tells you is that we all
Don't
want
listen
the
to
same
anything
thing
we've
out of our
recommended.
fall
Go
music.
listen to the whale.
We just get there in
Brian
different ways.
would like to add Radiohead to the discussion.
No. I'm just kidding.
I love
What was the
Radiohead.
movie we just watched that Radiohead scored?
Oh.
It was before.
Was it,
We need to talk
yeah.
about Kevin.
That Johnny Greenwood
Phenomenal
scored.
movie, weird movie. It's Tilda Swinton, who is one of the weirdest people who's ever lived.
Yes.
But we need to talk about Kevin. It's about a school shooter. There's no guns involved, but school shooter.
School shooter.
But from
no
the
guns
perspective
involved.
of his
I'll
mother,
tell you later. We don't want to spoil it
and
for the
sort of this kid's whole life, and it's really, in a way, not about him. It's about her,
Mhm.
and sort of, I don't know. In my opinion, the whole movie was about how unconditional a parent's love is, in a way.
And John C. Reilly's in it.
Yeah,
He's in everything.
he's very
nowadays.
serious, but also kind of like, his character is a little bit frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be like if someone was. I'm trying to think of a way that I can say this that makes sense. It's like if someone was punching me in the face. Okay, so pretend you care about me. Someone's punching me in the face, and you're just watching like, you guys are silly, and I'm like, please help, I'm being punched in the face, and you're like, you're a nut. I'll be back. That's John C. Reilly's character.
Yeah.
But again, pretend you care about me in this situation.
I
Okay.
yeah.
Anywho,
What was I'm trying to help Brian out. It was called. Dang it! I can't remember what the name of the last album they put out was.
Brian, how do you feel about Bon Iver? I'm genuinely curious. Or do you care? I'm waiting for your comment.
We're going to be quiet and silent until you respond to that.
We'll sit and wait.
No one say anything.
Anyways, the last Radiohead album, I really liked it. It probably does fit the fall, but that is the most depressing album I've ever listened to in my entire life. It almost makes you want to just straight cut yourself.
We're gonna go ahead and screen cap that.
What? I don't know what we're doing here. This is bad radio.
Ruined.
Bad radio on Facebook Live.
Dislike.
Or whatever the
Okay.
heck we're on.
Good. That's fine. I was just curious. I don't know why I assumed that if you liked Radiohead, you'd also kind of have a soft spot in your heart for them, but whatever.
Bon Iver.
He says he likes the style, just not him/them.
That's fair. His voice is, in my mind, not as good as the dude from Radiohead. It's not. It's almost like it's not unique enough for the music. Unique New York. Unique New York. Unique New York.
Well,
Final thoughts. Any updates?
We've got a lot of exciting stuff happening, but none of it that we have to actually present to you. So just know, things are happening. Not big things, obviously. It's 2017 and we're in a band.
What about our
Big
first?
things aren't happening, and they never will. But we're working on some new music for you guys.
I feel like last week it was
New-
just Brian,
new
and this week it was
New
Brian
music?
and Steven.
We got some new lights that I'll be teasing on the Form and Void Instagram page, but you need to come see us at a show. When's your next show? We don't have one. So give us one. What else?
Anything exciting in our personal lives?
I've been drawing every day.
Justin's been
Little
drawing every day.
Halloween drawings.
At
I've
Justin
seen your Halloween
Foxworth on
drawings.
Instagram.
One for each movie we're watching.
That sounds stressful because there's a lot of movies coming up.
It is, but I'm doing it in a way that's relatively simple. I'm keeping it like silhouette style. So there's not
I saw
like,
the
a ton of detail.
Nosferatu.
We will attend.
What's that?
Brian's booking us for his pants party. It's good to know that after investing all this time in lighting and music and
He's our
production,
Donnie Baker.
we can make it into a pants party.
Brian, we're going places. When this thing's at 100,000 views,
For my pants party.
I don't think we can end it in a better way than that.
Yeah.
we're gonna have
Let's go
100,000
ahead and
views
pin that.
a week.
I just learned about the pinning feature for comments. I'm a fan.
Oh, that's great.
Just
All right.
pinning all these comments.
That was a good one.
See you next week. We'll be here either Tuesday or Thursday. We'll let you know. Follow us on Instagram and here on Facebook.